Hello there! For this video, we will talk about the publishment of the first novel by Dr. Jose Rizal, which is the Noli Me Tangere. And now we're going to Germany to visit its capital city, which is the Berlin. The bleak winter of 1886 was memorable in the life of Rizal. Why? Because he was hungry, sick, and despondent of the city streets. But brought him joy after all the hard works and sufferings on the city. The Noli Me Tangere was the first novel that he was written and was came of press in March 1887. Dr. Jose Rizal has a best friend named Dr. Maximo Vuela y Sison. But where did Dr. Jose Rizal get the idea to write a novel in the Philippines? It was from this book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. The book inspires him to prepare a novel that would depict the miseries of his people under the lash of Spanish tyrants. In January 2, 1884, during the reunion of Filipinos in the paterno residence in Madrid, Rizal proposed that writing of a novel about the Philippines, which was unanimously approved by those present, among whom Paternos, Pedro, Maximo, and Antonio, Graciano Lopez Aina, Evaristo Aguirre, Eduardo Deleti, Julio Lorente, Melesio Figueroa, and Valentina Ventura. But it wasn't easy to Dr. Jose Rizal to finish the novel because instead of writing the novel, his writers were abusively wasting money on girls. Rizal gets angry and decides to finish the novel by himself. Rizal determined himself to write the novel alone. By the end of 1884, he finished one and a half of the Noli Me Tangere. In 1885, he flew to Paris to finish his studying and continued to write the Noli Me Tangere. He continued writing the novel, finishing one half of the second half. He finished the last fourth of the novel in Germany. He wrote the last few chapters of Noli Me Tangere in Wilhelmsfield in April-June 1886. In Berlin, during the winter days of February 1886, Rizal was sick and penniless. He saw no hope of having the novel published. He told his good friend Fernando Cannon,
"I did not believe that Noli Me Tangere would ever be published when I was in Berlin. Broke-hearted, weakened and discouraged from hunger and deprivation, I was on the point of throwing my work into the fire as a thing accursed and fit only to die."
Dr. Maximo Viola was shocked to find out Rizal were living in poverty and deplorable nourishment. Dr. Viola gladly financed the printing cost of Rizal's novel and loaned him some cash money. So it came to pass, Rizal and Viola happily celebrated Christmas of 1886 in Berlin with a sumptuous feast. On February 21, 1887, Noli was finally finished. After a few days of inquiries with Viola, they finally found a printing shop, which charged the lowest rate, publishing, that is 300 pesos for 2,000 copies of the novel. During the printing of the Noli Me Tangere, a rare incident happened to Rizal. One morning, the chief of Berlin paid a sudden visit to Rizal's boarding house. Unfortunately, Rizal could not produce a passport, for he had none.
"You must secure a passport within 4 days, otherwise you will be deported."
Rizal and Viola went to Spanish embassy to seek the help of the Spanish ambassadors. But the ambassador failed to attend the said matter. It turned out that he had no power to issue the required passport. Rizal presented himself at the office of the German police chief, apologizing for his failure to obtain a passport. He politely asked,
"Sir, I haven't committed any crime. Why would I be deported? I have received reports that you made frequent visits to villages, thereby arousing the German government's suspicion that you were a French spy. I am not a French spy, but a Filipino physician and scientist, particularly an ethnologist.
Favorably expressed, impressed with Rizal's explanation and fascinated by his masteries of German language and personal charisma, the police chief was satisfied and allowed him to stay freely in Germany. And after all, printing of Noli finally finished after all the hard works of Jose Rizal. In March 21, 1887, Noli Me Tangere came of press. Rizal sent the first copies of the printed novel to his intimate friends Blumentritt, Dr. Antonio, Regidor G. Lopez Haina, Mariano Ponce, and Felix R. Hidalgo. Dr. Jose Rizal, Life, Works, and Writings of a Genius, Writer, Scientist, and a National Hero.